time. Hi, I'm David with EV World News. We're talking about electric vehicles, green energy, and the stock markets. And I'm back today on a Friday with our founder and chief editor, Bill Moore. How's it going today, Bill?
Hey, it's going better today than it was yesterday when it was blowing up a storm out here.
Well, so today, instead of starting out with cars, we're going to start out with boats and planes.
Absolutely.
So we're going to shake things up a little bit and talk about boats. So this one's kind of crazy. So the world's largest battery electric ship has powered up in Australia. It's called the Incat Tasmania. Let's see here.
Yeah, that's the name of the company that built it. I don't think they've given. I couldn't find a name for the vessel yet.
It's the Incat. I thought that was the name of it.
No, that's
the builder.
Yeah, that's the builder.
Incat
Yeah,
Tasmania.
that's the builder.
Let's see. Well, on the hull, it has a name. So hull 096 is being built for South American ferry operator Buckybus or something like that.
Yeah.
It's named the China Zorilla.
China's Gorilla?
No, Zorilla. It's spelled like gorilla, but with a Z.
Okay. Well, I'm sure it must be something since it's headed to South America.
Yeah. It's about 500 feet long, which for you non-freedom lovers, that's 130 meters.
Yeah. Can you scroll past the ladies in the tights? Get back to the ship. There we go.
Yeah. Anyways,
they're a little distracting.
There you go. Yeah. Let's see. This 130-meter vessel carries 2,100 passengers and 220 vehicles, with over 250 tons of batteries, 40 megawatt hours of batteries. Wow. That's 4,000 Tesla long ranges. 4,000 Tesla long ranges.
Now, here's an observation, because there are people saying, well, Ford Motor Company has stopped making the F-150 and they're retreating on electric cars and they're reevaluating all that stuff. But you know what they're doing? They're shifting the production of that plant that was going to be building them for their vehicles. They're they're shifting it to do battery storage. I wonder where they got that idea and
probably
where that market's going.
Yeah. Well, that market is expected to quadruple over the next 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's becoming big business. So I thought that was pretty fascinating. We like to cover boats. That's a big boat, 500 feet.
That is not a boat. You had it right the first time. That is a ship.
Okay.
Because anything, generally what we're talking about electrified are boats. They're sailboats 30, 40 feet long, or they're these racing boats now that we're starting to see, competing in Monaco and, Miami and places like that. Those are boats. But this is a serious ship.
This claims to be the world's biggest electric vehicle ever built.
I would not challenge that.
Couldn't an electric train have been bigger than this?
Well, technically, if you're
if you're counting all of the cars, the cars aren't motorized, right? So it's just
generally not. No. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess it depends on how you look at it, but I don't know. That's a damn big. That's a pretty big boat.
Yeah.
I'm curious how it's getting to South America.
Yeah, so am I. Well, there are actually vessels that carry other vessels, right?
Yes.
So I'm sure they have worked that out, and they probably have a contract to either, have tugboats, pull it there, or
I'm just curious because I don't know how far 40 megawatts gets one with a 500-foot boat.
Yeah, I have no idea, and I doubt there are. So if it's going from Australia to South America, obviously it's going across through the, what do they call it, the Raging 40s or something like that.
I need to figure out where it's being docked so I can sell them a nuclear reactor to power this thing.
Yeah.
Charge it up.
How about Easter Island?
There you go.
And Easter Island is still 2,000 miles. Do you know Easter Island actually belongs to Chile?
Yeah.
And it's like 2,100 miles from Easter Island to to Santiago or whatever. So yeah,
it's a long ways.
Long ways.
Yeah, it always makes you wonder how they built all those big heads. All right.
Well, that's another interesting story we don't want to get into. But anyway, yes.
We like going down rabbit holes.
Oh, that's a really deep rabbit hole. Yeah. Rapa Nui.
Yes. Let's see. All right. So we've covered boats. Now let's move on to planes.
Absolutely. And are we doing, we ought to do buses because there's been a lot of news on the bus front too.
Oh, has there? I don't know if I saw. I don't think I got a bus story today.
Oh, well, I can fill you in.
All right. So EVO launches a hybrid electric aircraft with 450 pre-orders. Obviously, it's a 4-engine turboprop of some sort.
Well, we'll explain that.
Okay. The company benefits from collaboration with Boeing and RTX's Pratt & Whitney Canada. Let's see. What news here? So the EVO 810 hybrid electric regional aircraft has 50 to 100 seats. Mm-hmm. It's targeting entry into service in the early 2030s, so it's a ways out there.
Well, yeah, that's typical.
It's using both all-electric and hybrid flight modes designed for efficiency and lower emissions on short-haul routes. That I'm curious how that works out.
Yeah, so what you have is very similar to what's called a parallel or a series hybrid. Mm-hmm. In a series hybrid, there is a turbine, probably in those nacelles back there on the wings. There's a turbine that spins a generator that charges a battery that then runs the electric motors that spin the props. Okay, that's a series. Another one, of course, is the parallel, which is like a Prius, where sometimes it's just the turbine engine, and sometimes it's just the electric, and sometimes it's both together, and it depends on what flight mode you're talking about. What I couldn't figure out from this article, at least regarding this airplane, is which direction they're going. Are they going with a series hybrid or a parallel hybrid design?
Wow, they've got some pretty good people on their board. Let me see. They've got an Airbus senior vice president, Rob Delore, who led the development of the C-Series A220 program. And they've got former Lockheed Martin executive Frank Capuccio, who led Lockheed Martin Skunk Works, advanced design organization, and oversaw the F-35.
Wouldn't you like to sit down with him for a beer and ask him about what they were doing at the Skunk Works?
Yeah. What do they know that we don't know?
Yeah.
No, that seems like it'd be pretty cool.
And why are we wasting our time on turboprop engines when we probably somewhere have something far more exotic?
Why can't we just use anti-gravity and put it out there in the EV space?
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering where some of that's at.
You'd be surprised. I've had some interesting conversations with people that really this whole kind of area of UAPs and UFOs is really starting to gain a little momentum and curiosity on the part of people. I've been following it since the days of Art Bell.
Right.
If you know who Art Bell is,
I know
right?
Art.
Yeah. So I was actually on the show once. But anyway, so I've been following it with great curiosity and so anyway, it's getting distracted, but I'd love to sit down with the guy from
I've known other people that were on the Art Bell show, and I had a friend who did a whole thing on Atlantis. He says that there was a TV show, Stargate, basically stole his that was his concepts of how Atlantis was.
Okay, yeah. Sure.
And anyways,
I've had an idea ripped off by Hollywood that I pitched, and somebody else ended up doing it. So, but anyway, yeah.
Yeah, you never know. Anyways, all right, we're on to the biggest news. So this has been a really big year in the nuclear power space. There's been all kinds of things that have happened as far as, and a lot of it's, while it's been driven by the United States, not really in terms of actual powering anything, has anything occurred. It's all been investment in this. They may have broken ground. We've got people, coming up with orders for nuclear, and we're hoping that we're going to start seeing some commercialization of small modular reactors in the United States by 28, 29. We got some stuff going on in Canada that may be active before then. But yesterday, Trump Media merged with TAE Technologies. Now, I met the CEO of TAE when I was at a nuclear.
Oh yeah, I saw this California. One. Yes, yes. Yeah, I see absolutely no connection between the two. But go ahead, elaborate.
Yeah. So Trump Media, which is a publicly traded company, and TAE Technology Group announced a merger, and TAE is in the fusion space. And what's interesting is when I was talking, he said they're hoping, if everything works out, they can commercialize something by 2031. Okay. Now, they've already had over 1.3 billion in investment into their technologies, and they're successfully having fusion reactions. But you and I have talked about this before, how to commercialize it, you need to be having 10 fusion reactions every second.
Right.
Yeah, and the problem is
having one every couple hours doesn't count.
Yeah, and they're not even doing one every couple of hours. It's like every couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. And so there's a lot more going into it. But the deal is that it's an all stock deal. Basically, each company, the shareholder is going to give about half of the other company, is considered to be a $6 billion merger.
Oh, no.
It's the single biggest event in nuclear this year.
I would not put a dime in that myself personally, just because maybe TAE is fine, but I have no confidence whatsoever in anything that the president of the United States at the present is engaged in. None whatsoever. Yeah. Talk to the people that bought his meme coins.
Yep. Trump Media is up 23% in trading over the news.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's the single biggest deal.
And Jimmy Carter sold his little peanut farm, so there'd be no conflict of interest.
Really?
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's see here. Getting back to our next article. This is
take a second here. I just saw the ticker go by $22.40 for RIvian.
Yeah.
What happened? I'm happy about it. I've got a couple $100 in it, but
Yeah. Let me see. So it hit a 52-week high after a bullish analyst upgrade. Shares surged 15% yesterday to $20.28. They're up another 10% today. So that's almost a 25%.
Go RJ, man.
Yeah, it's up. It's basically up $5 in 2 days.
Yeah.
It's trading at 4 times sales versus Tesla's 17x, positioning it as potentially undervalued. Well, we're going to just talk about this in a minute, but the R2 SUV launch at $45,000 in early 26 will move RIvian from luxury niche into mass market, with analysts projecting 28% plus revenue growth. Well, it's about time somebody recognized where RIvian's going.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, absolutely.
We've watched it for a long time, and it seems to be pretty healthy when you've got people like Jeff Bezos, you've got Volkswagen, you got other people that are heavily invested in the company. Mm-hmm. It just doesn't strike me that it's going kaput.
No. Right? I mean, as we say, Lucid has the Saudi royal house sort of, in the national, fund, basically. What do they call sovereign
sovereign wealth
fund?
fund.
Yeah, sovereign wealth fund behind helping underpin them. And then, of course, we got RIvian with the Volkswagen funding, and Amazon, buying the vehicles, which we see all the time here, because the service center, distribution center, just about 5 miles down the road here from us. So,
yeah. Well, I don't know. Amazon would never let something happen to RIvian in my mind, at least not to the van production.
Yeah.
Right. In worst case, if something ever happened, that would get spun off. Amazon would probably take it internally or something.
Yeah.
In my mind, because it's so valuable to them. It's become such a big part of Amazon's footprint.
Yeah. Just think about I don't know how many people actually seeing those vans driving by realize that those are electric cars, right? Electric trucks. But just the sheer halo effect, because Bezos is sort of, his aura isn't quite as bright as it would have been since divorces and purchases and Washington Post and all that stuff, right? He doesn't have the same kind of, the entrepreneurial genius, unicorn that he once had. But boy, those vans, I think, in my view, right, and I'm obviously extremely biased, that in my view, those vans are a real halo for that company.
All right, and RJ Scaringe talks about Tesla. So RJ Scaringe from RIvian talks about Tesla. He says, consumers have 300 different internal combustion engine choices, but there's really only one highly compelling EV choice in the mid-price segment. And he's saying that's Tesla. He said, it doesn't make sense for somebody when they're comparing cars in the mid-price segment to really consider taking another car because Tesla makes a better product. Tesla makes up 50% of mid-price EV sales, indicating lack of competition rather than true consumer preference.
Oh, yeah.
And there's definitely some truth to that. I mean, but Tesla is really the first mass market EV company in the United States, right?
Yeah. Hey, little thing. I'm getting out. This is 2 days ago on my walk down my route, and there's an intersection where there's the major road just to the south of me and the major road to the east of me. There's a white Tesla waiting there to probably turn, west on the road. And what comes up next to him is right past him going east to west is right at the same time, 2 white EVs, one a Tesla and one truck. I thought, wow, we're starting to, Omaha is finally getting up to speed, folks. And
I know. It's weird when you go to the West Coast and you see all the EVs driving in herds, especially Teslas. They move. You'll see packs of 4 to 12 Teslas coming down the road together. There'd be one Cybertruck in there, and then there'd be, some Model Ys, some Model 3s, maybe a Model S.
Right. So I went to an event last night, and at a local engineering design company, and what's parked out in the private parking spot in front of the headquarters? Somebody's black Tesla Model Y, of course.
Were there Indians in the meeting?
No, there were no Indians in the meeting. No.
Chinese?
No. One lovely black lady was there, but everybody else was as far as there may have been one Hispanic, but everybody else was. No, there's 2 Hispanics because the guy that rode with me, one of the people that rode with me down there, is Hispanic.
So the only person I know that drives a black Cybertruck is
this wasn't a Cybertruck. This was a Model Y, Tesla Model Y.
My bad. Yeah. I'm just so used to the biggest.
I know which one you're talking about. Yeah.
The main adopters of Teslas, especially the higher end ones, seem to be Indians and Chinese.
Right. And smart people.
Right. No, I kind of laugh. I go, because we have these badminton leagues at my tennis club, and they're all Indians, and the parking lot fills up with EVs when they're there. It's really it's
wow. That
really
bad.
cool.
I mean, badminton goes back to Indian colonial, English colonial days, right?
So in southeastern India, just so like here, an apartment complex might have a basketball court or something like that. There, they have a badminton court in all the apartment complexes. Yeah, and man,
I think that's a legacy of the Raj. Indian.
No, they love it. It's really fascinating to watch. Anyways, Scaringe believes the constraint isn't demand but supply. Americans want EVs but need more compelling, affordable options beyond Tesla. We've said this for a long time. It's kind of an obvious thing. People will complain. It's like, oh, Ford isn't selling EVs. Well, who cares about Ford? When you really think about EVs, it's mostly Tesla, and it's and who's number two? GM. You got Hyundai, the big player.
GM number two. Yep.
Yeah, and GM has a lot of EVs. What are we up to now? It must be like 10.
I have not. I have not kept track. I should probably ask
probably
AI.
More than that. Yeah. All right. Okay.
In fact, while you're doing that, I will ask AI. Go ahead.
There you go. All right. Massachusetts battery startup Factorial Energy is going public. It's listing via a SPAC merger. This is basically a reverse merger. A SPAC is a organization that's already been listed that needs a revenue generating or some kind of company to reverse into it. This SPAC merger is valued at 1.1 billion, and the SPAC has a certain amount of cash in it that goes to Factorial Energy, and in this case, it's 100 million. So they get 100 million initially to fund their operations. Developing solid-state batteries that are lighter, charge faster, and don't use any flammable electrolytes. Mercedes-Benz has tested a car with a Factorial battery, and they travel almost 750 miles on a single charge. Batteries could be in production vehicles by 2027, starting with the Dodge Charger Daytona.
Okay.
I thought that was kind of fascinating. Yeah, 750 miles on the battery. Now, the challenge with this is, what is that solid state battery going to cost? That's the thing that I've always been wondering. I've never seen anybody really talk about the economics of. My understanding is they're at least 5 times as expensive as LFP.
Well, but this, it's early production, so that probably follows the same kind of curve
trajectory.
Yeah,
maybe it's 5 years from price parity with LFP.
Yeah, the number for GM is 9 models across all their brands right now.
9, okay.
Yeah, but two more it says are being added this year: the Visiq, Cadillac, and another Cadillac model.
Oh, you're talking about the Escalade IQ?
Well, let's see. Let me go back over there and just verify. Yeah, well, there's 4 on Cadillac: the IQ or the Lyric, the Escalade IQ, the Visiq, and the Optic. So
one of those is like $250,000, I think.
Yeah, it's probably, I think it's the Visiq is the one that is the custom, model where you can design it for everything you want on it. So,
all right, let's see here. But this is kind of fascinating to see if that works out. I mean, if you're going to see it come out on Dodges, though, that's a surprising one.
Yeah,
we didn't feel they've done that well with the Charger, right?
No, they what did they either slowed up production or basically not terminated? I don't like these shelved. Is the word they have? I'm sure they have a word for when they slow down or put a pause on production. In fact, I think I read 2 General Motors plants are shutting down for a couple of months, but I assume that's sort of normal for retooling. Mm-hmm. So.
All right. Let's see. Oh, we got another nuclear article. 3 Mile Island restart gets another federal boost. U.S. Energy Secretary calls TMI, which is kind of funny. That's the name for 3 Mile Island.
Right.
TMI. Restart, the poster child of the Trump administration's energy and AI agenda. Well, let's hope it doesn't go badly. $1.6 billion project now targeting 2027 restart, which is a year ahead of schedule with a $1 billion federal loan. 835 megawatt reactor will power Microsoft data centers, highlighting the intersection of AI tech growth and nuclear energy for grid stability. Well, good for Microsoft. Microsoft needs access to that capital so they can power their data centers. Microsoft could have just stroked a check for that $1 billion. They really probably didn't need that. But the thing is, Microsoft is buying the energy. Somebody else, there's an energy company that owns that. So the energy company is the one getting the loan.
Yeah.
But still, I just find that fascinating. Hey guys, I need a gigawatt of electricity for my project. Can government help me out with $1 billion loan, please?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, you helped Microsoft. Why not me?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, all right. More Tesla news. Tesla stock volatility continues. Tesla closed at 483 on yesterday.
That's a record, isn't it?
No, well, they went all the way to 490 yesterday.
Okay. And
or
then
maybe it was Wednesday.
Then somebody made a few bucks profit sharing, or not
that's the all-time high for Tesla. Analysts concerned about revenue stagnation, projected to go down 3% this year, and declining profit margins due to price wars with BYD and Xiaomi in China. Market valuation of 1.5 to 1.6 trillion, increasingly dependent on unproven AI projects, robo-taxis, and Optimus, rather than the core EV business. The thing is, Musk doesn't look at them as a car maker. To him, making cars is the sideline.
It's someplace to put his batteries and his chips.
Yes. Yeah. And so the people who are voting for Tesla to be worth $490 are people that go along with that they see Tesla. So it's funny, like we're talking about RIvian stock and how RIvian trades at 4 times sales and Tesla trades at 17 times
times sales.
Yeah. But that's because RIvian isn't doing what Tesla is doing. Okay. RIvian at the moment is a car maker, but they're looking at trying to make some of their own chips.
Well, now they're a car maker and a bicycle maker now.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah. Wow.
So they got that. And then of course, now they're talking about introducing autonomous driving in the next round. And unlike Elon, RJ says, we need the LiDAR, so he is putting LiDAR in his system, which conceivably could make it safer. So I don't know what it does to the price, but
they need to come out with self-driving bicycles for blind people.
Actually, somebody's already done that. I don't know if you know this or not, but there's actually been some serious work on self relocating electric assist bicycles, right? Because the problem is you have these banks of electric bicycles, right, for bike sharing systems, like in New York, like the City Bikes program. And the idea is you take it and you either park it back at the station it was at, or you park it at a station near your destination, right? You're pedaling around Manhattan and so on. So actually, I think this was done probably in Asia somewhere, where they actually developed a bicycle that self-balances, is all electric, right? And can go back to where it started if necessary. It can relocate itself, right? You set a perimeter around it. Yeah, I know. Of course, it's probably a college experiment or some Asian
It'd be
startup
pretty weird. You see a bicycle that's laying on its side, all of a sudden it just springs up, rides off.
Springs up and rides off. Well, I don't know how you get that leverage from here, but as long as you get off it, it's still standing there, right? So it doesn't really lay over. You get off it, it's standing there, and then Somebody needs a bike 4 blocks away, and it just pedals itself and goes to wherever the person
I
is.
personally enjoy the videos where people have taken a bicycle and left it unattended with invisible fishing line running to a tree or a post or something like that.
Right.
And somebody tries to steal it. They go,
oh yeah,
they go flying over the handlebars when
yeah,
you know, like 200-pound test or whatever.
yeah.
Fishing line catches hold. Yeah, and they go just flying. Anyways, let's see what's next. Oh, we're on to my last. Oh no, I've got 2 more things. So Ontario and New York State strike a nuclear energy partnership. The New York Power Authority and Ontario Power Generation signed a landmark agreement on advanced nuclear technology and small modular reactors. Now, Ontario.
That's significant.
It is. Ontario's first SMR at the Darlington nuclear site began construction in May 2025. I think that's a Westinghouse project, but that was the one that's like $20 billion. They're calling it SMR, but it's 4 300 megawatt reactors.
Okay, paired up.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's still 1.2 gigawatts, which is really the size of traditional reactors. And those are all light water reactors. So they're older design. They're not the Gen 4 stuff that I talk about.
Right.
Yeah. But the cross-border partnership positions both regions as leaders in next generation nuclear for clean, reliable grid power. To me, the challenge for New York, because New York has fairly pricey electricity, is to place the energy production closer to the users so you can cut infrastructure and transmission costs.
Because a lot of that power in New York actually comes from Canada.
Right.
And so you've got all those high tension lines that are crossing, the Adirondacks and, the Three Fingers Lake area and, or Five Fingers.
Yeah. If you're watching from the New York area, so you probably pay about 25 cents a kilowatt hour for residential electricity. Of that, the local power company is only allowed to make a 10% profit, which is 2.5 cents. Now, the CEO could get paid $5-10 million a year, but the company itself still can only make a 10% profit.
Right.
Now, they buy the hydroelectric power from Quebec for 4 cents a kilowatt, and you pay 25 cents. So you take the 4 plus the 2.5 cents profit. The rest of that is infrastructure, transmission, employee salaries, operating costs for the power company. But that's the difference. That 4 cents turns into 25 cents by the time it gets to your house.
Yeah.
So this is one of the things when I talk about SMRs, I'm usually talking about what's truly called a micro SMR. That's something smaller than 50 megawatts. And the idea of those is they can be built right beside the location that needs the power, so you eliminate infrastructure and transmission costs.
Right.
Yeah. So when they talk about SMRs at Darlington in Ontario, those are grid scale. So they're still going to have that traditional transmission and infrastructure costs because that, and that, to be fair, that's right outside of Toronto, but it's probably not crazy. Ontario has, I think, pretty cheap electric rates. So
if we have any Ontario listeners, feel free to share, in the comments what
now here's what
your rates are.
If you're up though, like one of these remote tribes or mining locations, their cost for electricity is like 40 cents a kilowatt.
Oh yeah,
and that's U.S. dollars, not Canadian dollars. Yeah, I'm just saying.
What's the exchange rate now? I haven't looked at the exchange rate lately.
Yeah, I don't want to know. It's funny. A Canadian dollar is worth 73 cents U.S.
Okay, yeah.
And that's probably fairly traditional. Okay, what do I always say is the technology of the future in large trucks?
In large trucks, battery swapping, of course, or hydrogen.
Yeah, you don't hear me saying that. We actually had a hydrogen article on Wednesday.
Though there's a hydrogen with respect to. Oh, there you go. Cement trucks, huh? Hey,
Cement
look
trucks.
at that.
So I'm guessing the big blue thing between the cab and the cement mixer. Here we go.
All right. Yeah, come down, pick it up. I like
Look
it.
at how.
And of course, it's in China, naturally.
Of course. Look how long this takes compared to filling up with gas. It's even giving me public service announcements and EV electric. Okay, so this is sped up 6 times.
Hey, you see.
So it really was much slower than that. That I was sped up 6.
Oh, okay. You sped it up, or they sped it up?
The video was sped up 6 times.
Oh,
I didn't speed
really?
it up.
Oh, so it's a little longer than what we're saying.
So
okay.
that's probably 3 minutes. Okay, but you certainly can't fill up a tractor trailer or a cement truck in 3 minutes. So I like it. Yeah, I'm just saying that's along the lines of what I keep saying is how tractor trailers should be here. I mean, that's quick. And
they don't give any idea of what the capacity of the battery is, and those cement mixers, I can't imagine, are all that fuel efficient.
All right, so an EV concrete mixer and battery swap station is here. Let me see. China, well, what I'm seeing in China isn't just demand destruction. It's a structural shift with far deeper implications for global energy. The numbers are almost unfair. A Chinese fleet running these mixers is pocketing 3 times diesel level savings. That's only the teaser trailer for the horror movie now playing in the oil market. Pure economics, no fairy dust. The EV chassis is about 200,000 yuan, or I don't know how you say yuan
or MMB. Take your pick.
The batteries, though, are extra. They're 450 yuan.
Right.
Okay.
That makes sense.
You can rent the batteries for 6,000 to 7,000 yuan per month. 0 downtime for battery issues.
So the company with the battery swapping unit is separate from, at least on paper, separate from the company that's running the mixers then.
So, yes. Yeah, it's a different company. So it costs 0.7 to 0.8 yuan per kilometer to operate one of these electric ones.
Okay.
It's 2.5 yuan per kilometer for the diesel, and that doesn't include service bills. The electric price was all in service and maintenance on the cement mixers. So you're probably it's 1/4 the cost to operate of the diesel version. Maintenance falls 50%. Electric truck has way fewer moving parts. EV truck sales have crossed the 50% threshold and is already displacing over 1 million barrels of oil per day in implied oil demand. Let's see. Scale it across millions of heavy-duty rigs, and we're looking at over 2 million barrels per day of diesel demand in the near future. Permanent demand destruction, not a recession blip. 1,200 swap stations already dot the national highway network in China, and the country wants 80% freight corridors covered by 2030, and it doesn't stop with trucks. And at this particular station, the guy that I'm following, he had 7 trucks in an hour came through there. That would have been 21 megawatt hours.
So obviously there's a power plant or a big substation somewhere in the vicinity.
Yeah. So now, like Bobby was saying there in the chat, they're using it. So the station owner isn't just selling electrons. It's got vehicle to grid discharge. The battery doubles as a virtual power plant, pocketing grid services profits that dwarf the charging fees. Every new station is a microgrid node, making the network more resilient. The global oil implication is the part that people are underestimating. The rapid electrification of heavy-duty trucks, potentially reducing diesel demand by 2 million barrels per day, simply wreaks havoc. These barrels are permanently displaced, structural, not cyclical. The market impact could be profound. Weaker rebounds, less upstream investment, tighter refinery economics, and faster capital rotation into batteries, renewable, and electrification. So it doesn't just replace diesel, it can become a global price depressor that accelerates the world's exit from oil. And last but not least, the solution won't stay confined to the Middle Kingdom. Once it proliferates worldwide, the crude dominoes will fall even faster.
Ah, that's interesting. Make sure you send me that link so I can post that one. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, this was actually a LinkedIn article. Somebody was just talking about their own experience, but I'll send you the link.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah, but I mean, that video is just fascinating.
Well, that's really encouraging to see that happening. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and it's funny because we're sitting here in the United States, and I've seen all these things now. The people are like, "Oh, Ford just wrote off $26 billion." I mean,
19 something. It was about roughly 20 billion.
There was another like 7 billion the next day.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was two tranches. It was 19.5 billion plus 7 billion.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I mean, it was a big number, and people are like, "Oh, EVs are dead." And it's like, have you heard of Tesla?
No.
BYD, and it's just like, no.
I have a editor's, well, no, it's actually one of the ones our SI generated on there about this, because there's an article said, yeah, they're dead. It's all going away. Ford demonstrated. No, look at the facts,
No, it's so funny. People always like, oh, EVs are gone. It's like, you do realize they're 25% of global car sales, and in China it's 50%, which is the world's largest car market.
Yeah, and 99 in Norway. So
yeah, I mean, it's staggering to think, that people really have a hard time in their head realizing there's a world out there that's not the United States.
Right. Yep.
It's very difficult as Americans to perceive that there's other people in the world that matter.
Yeah.
But I thought you'd like that one. I mean, that.
Oh yeah.
You know how I love battery swap. I mean,
right. That's you're seriously into it.
Yeah. No, I think this is where the money should be going. I don't think it should be going into just the standard plug it in and charge. I mean, at your house, yeah, but your car or not your car, but your big truck should have the availability to both be charged, when it's in the port, or at your terminal, but at the same time, just be able to go battery swap it somewhere. It makes a lot of damn sense. Of course, then they all have to be standardized, right? Everybody's got to run a 300 kilowatt hour battery or 500 kilowatt hour battery or whatever it is. And that particular case, they were talking about like 3 megawatts per truck. Didn't I say that it was 21 megawatts in an hour? I'm curious if his numbers are right, that 7 trucks took 21 megawatt hours, because that means each truck would have had 3 megawatts of batteries.
Megawatts.
That's not happening. That wasn't a 3 megawatt battery.
No.
So this guy's math is off. Okay. Those were probably 300 kilowatt batteries, not 3 megawatt. So he is probably off by a factor of 10. That's still 2.1 megawatts in an hour. That's a lot of juice. That's still a lot of juice. I mean, that would power in China, that would power like 8,000 homes. Okay. That's a lot of juice that went.
That's a lot of juice. Yep.
Yeah. So
well, I was running the numbers on my solar apiary project, and the little acre of 400 panels at 280 watt hours, and my little 1 acre plot is enough to power a neighborhood of 11 homes all year, American homes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyways, folks, that's all I had for today.
We didn't talk about buses.
Oh, okay. Let's talk about buses. Sorry, Bill.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Because we both planes and buses, right? So the one thing I wanted to point out is that Liverpool, the city of Liverpool, where the Beatles came from, right, is converting their hydrogen fuel cell buses over to all electric, to battery electric. Why? Because they could not get a reliable source of hydrogen for their fuel cell buses. So they're now converting, and I think they're targeting something like six. No, I might be confusing cities here, but there's another city that's doing, ordering 600 electric buses. So the electric, I mean, we don't report on that a lot, but there's a lot of activity. In India, there's lots of activity in that area. China, of course, has been going with electric buses now for a decade and a half at least, or 2 decades. So there's a lot happening that's just not in the passenger car side. We got buses, we got airplanes, and we got heavy-duty cement trucks that are going electric. So it's an EV world, folks.
It is. It is. It's really, it's surprising to people. I mean, people really don't realize how much of this is changing worldwide.
Yep.
If they lived in Nebraska, they'd really be clueless.
But we're getting them there. Come on.
Yeah, I know. But
now anyways, we can sign off.
Yeah. So Wednesday with Mike, I was asked, I go, Toyota's dropping billions of dollars into another big investment. Guess what it is? And he goes, well, it can't be hydrogen. I go, yeah, it's hydrogen.
Of course it is.
They're putting more money into hydrogen fuel station infrastructure.
Yeah, well, that's, I guess that would make sense for them in Japan, but I don't think that they're obviously not playing well anywhere else in the world.
No, when we see it going down in the US and in Europe, the thing is, I don't see it as being viable in passenger cars, but it makes sense once again in your long haul trucking.
Yeah.
That'd be the application for it. But to me, hydrogen just doesn't make sense. Even if the economics play out, people who drive an EV already know it's a better driving experience. And, when I've seen people review hydrogen cars, I've never driven a hydrogen car, but the experience is it's less enjoyable than driving a gas car. Whereas people, I've driven an electric car more.
Yeah, I've driven several, hydrogen fuel cell cars, a Honda and GM. And Toyota, and it's basically it's just an electric car that instead of using a coal-fired power plant or natural gas or something at the end of a long line of grid, you got the little electric generator or not a generator, but the device that converts hydrogen into oxygen and combines them and generates electricity. But basically, it's still an electric car. It's just the source of the energy is coming, from that gas stored in a really high pressure. Pardon?
Yeah. Well, he's asking how long would hydrogen last? I don't know if he's saying if you had a tank full of it, would it just?
Yeah. Yeah. So typically, actually, it was Toyota that set a new record. They drove one of their hydrogen, I forget which model it was now, but their hydrogen SUV to Alaska and back. And I forget this. I don't remember the numbers. We could probably Google it and get it. But they set a record. So it considerably further, again, depending on the size of the tank and the pressure under which the gas is held, right? Because you're talking 10,000 bar. Which is 7,000 bar. I forget all the numbers because I'm getting away from it now. But depending on the size of that tank in the back and then the pressure under which that gas is stored, you can go, I think it was 700 miles, something like that on a charge.
Oh, wow. That's a pretty good sized tank. Bobby was talking about in California, that it was costing over $100 to fill up with hydrogen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was more than that. It was more like 170.
Yeah,
I mean, it was nuts.
I think the price of the hydrogen back when was like $10 a liter or something, and they were hoping to get it down to $5 a liter is roughly energy equivalent to a gallon of gasoline. So they were hoping to get it down to the equivalent of about $5 a gallon. I don't know if they ever got there because they've been closing stations and people moving away from hydrogen.
Yeah, our observation is that hydrogen has been 2 to 3 times, even with the fact that maybe it doesn't have the gas taxes, it's still 2 to 3 times what gas costs, and it's at least 6 times as expensive as driving an EV.
Yeah.
So it's just terrible economics. Not saying it couldn't improve somehow, but the problem is you have to transport it. And
keep it under pressure, which that takes energy.
Yeah, so there's some things. We did a nice episode one time about how Ukraine's been buying up used hydrogen fuel cell vehicles and
using them for bombs.
Yeah, they've been making them automated so they could use them as bombs. So that seemed to be a useful use for
caveman. Yeah, nice. Yeah. Hey, thanks for everybody jumping in, by the way. If you saw this, I was giving you a thumbs up when I saw your comments, but it wasn't really an appropriate time to jump in and say anything. So if you see me do this, it's generally I'm thanking you for your participation.
Yep. Yeah, everybody. Let's see. Tuesday.
Hey, what are we doing? Are we doing the day after Christmas or not?
I don't care. I mean, we should definitely do Tuesday. That's the 23rd.
Oh yeah, 23rd.
I told Mike we'll skip New Year's or Christmas Eve. We should probably go ahead and do Friday next week. It's not like I'm going to be doing anything else.
Okay.
Anyways, folks, want to thank everybody for watching. Lots of new people actually in the chat. It's been like 3-4 people in the chat today that I don't recognize.
Yeah.
Anyways, all right, we'll be back on Tuesday. Until then, everybody have a great weekend, and thanks for watching.